Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome you to this virtual fleet lounge. Together with Jaguar Land Rover, we will present you the all-new Jaguar XE. The virtual fleet lounge is an initiative of Fleet Europe to help fleet decision makers like you get the necessary insights of new car models. And this with a focus on car fleet related characteristics like design, technology and safety, total cost of ownership, residual value, or driver satisfaction. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Steven Schroefs, and I will lead you through this virtual fleet lounge. But today we have the honor to welcome Jaguar Land Rover as our virtual fleet lounge partner to present the all-new Jaguar XE. And our guest speaker, like you can see on your screen, is Mr. Simon Dransfield, General Manager, Fleet and Business Europe at Jaguar Land Rover. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go through today's agenda. After this short introduction, you will already discover the all-new Jaguar XE. The new Jaguar model definitely appeals to the heart and the brain of today's fleet managers. The new Jaguar model, first presented at the 2014 Paris Motor Show, looks to be the right alternative for companies and drivers, combining rational elements with emotion and sportiveness. Last but not least, you will have the opportunity to ask your questions about the all-new Jaguar XE during an interactive Q&A session. As a participant, we invite you to submit your questions by using the Q&A function that you can find in your Virtual Fleet Lounge tool. This Virtual Fleet Lounge will also be recorded and so will be available on our website fleeteurope.com afterwards. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being with us and enjoy your Virtual Fleet Lounge. We will now feature a short video presentation. If you don't hear the sound of the video, please just activate the sound of your speakers.
It's time for a change. A new plan needs a new boss. It's time for something more surprising, more British, more Jaguar.
We've already created a beast. Now it's time for a new animal. With the same potent DNA, but even more ruthlessly efficient.
Unleash the cats.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right away.
Go on, my pretty ones, go on. Go on. Go forth and rule the roads! Oh yes, it is good to be bad.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I have now the pleasure to hand over the Virtual Fleet Lounge floor to Mr. Simon Dransfield of Jaguar Land Rover. Simon.
Thank you very much, Stephen. I would very much like to welcome all of you today to the introduction of the new Jaguar XE, the most fleet-relevant vehicle that Jaguar has ever launched. May I thank you for taking the time to join us, and hopefully we will provide a number of compelling reasons for why the new Jaguar XE should be placed within your company fleet. A quick glimpse at the agenda shows that we're referring to the background of the company, why we should be considered for fleet, and then of course we're proud to present the new Jaguar XE with its specification, information relating to the superior ride and handling, and the new infotainment and connectivity, and last but not least, the total cost of ownership. Firstly though, I'd like to introduce the wider business of Jaguar Land Rover. These are exciting times for Jaguar Land Rover and its 34,000 employees. Half of these have been recruited over the past 3 years, which gives you an idea of the extent of our growth in recent times. We are a truly global business. Indeed, we have started making Jaguar Land Rover vehicles in China as part of our joint venture with Chery Automobile Company in what is one of the world's greenest car factories. We've also started construction of our second overseas manufacturing plant in Brazil, which will start production in 2016. So how do we continue this success? Well, we must maintain an unrelenting focus on design, technology, innovation and quality, which has this year seen Jaguar Land Rover reach global customers in more markets than ever before. Two iconic British brands are our greatest assets. They differentiate us from the competition. We have a clear vision for our future that will be realised through investment, which is, in this fiscal year, will see in excess of €4 billion in CapEx and R&D. In the past 5 years, Jaguar Land Rover has tripled its turnover and doubled its workforce. It has gone from strength to strength to become a fine example of great British engineering. So briefly to touch upon our results, announced 2 weeks ago, clearly this demonstrates the success we are achieving with growth in volume and profit. The 6% sales growth achieved equally across the globe in 14-15 at JLR is forecast to be exceeded in 15-16, with global sales expected to surpass 500,000 cars. This growth being built upon the platform of highly desirable, cost-competitive cars. So, why should Jaguar be considered for fleet? The Jaguar offer has been extended towards more fleet-relevant segments. Our new and evolving Jaguar showroom contains sports cars like the exhilarating F-Type as a convertible and as a coupe. Our sedans are recognised for their sporty design and performance, and in September this year, the all-new XF will arrive. More information to follow on this. Finally, supporting growth in new segments, the Jaguar F-Pace will arrive in spring of 2016, the first ever all-road SUV. Exciting times ahead indeed. Another specific reason for Jaguar to be placed in your fleet is our focus on quality. We strive to constantly enhance our quality, both perceived and actual. This has been a 4-year aggressive investment plan, now seeing returns. In 2015, JD Power Survey for Customer Satisfaction Index saw Jaguar beat the competitors from the Far East and in Germany with regards to the satisfaction with the dealer service. A further reason for Jaguar, which we'll cover in more detail later, is peace of mind. In order to further enhance the advantage of delivering peace of mind, the all-new Jaguar XEs will come with the Jaguar Care programme. Clearly, to be competitive, we need to start with the list price, and in all markets of Europe, we have benchmarked the new XE against the segment leader, equipment adjusted to achieve the most competitive position in our segment. In Germany, this will translate to the entry point of the Jaguar XE with the 163 PS Ingenium engine with the trim level Pure, starting at €36,450. However, we are very clear that the list price is not the key driver of cost. We will explore our investment in total cost of ownership later, but clearly the overview pie chart illustrates the average breakdown of where fleets incur costs through a 3-year life cycle. If you can raise your residual performance, lower your fuel costs and remove service costs, then clearly with the XE we will have a truly compelling proposition from a cost perspective. Let's touch upon the specification of the new XE. The all-new XE is a head-on competitor to the BMW 3 Series, Audi A4 and Mercedes C-Class in the premium CD segment. It is the first car built on our all-new aluminium architecture, which will be the platform for the new XF and F-Pace. As you would expect, the design and handling are class leading, and we'll explain further the superb fuel efficiency delivered by the all-new Ingenium engines. Specifically looking at the engine lineup, we have 2 diesel 4-cylinder Ingenium engines with the CO2 emissions starting at 99 grams, a first in this class. These engines being built in our all-new engine plant at £500 million investment. Furtherly, we'll deliver 2 petrol variants which will be offered with 200 and 240 PS respectively. And finally, our range-topping 6-cylinder engine, direct from the F-Type, completes the engine lineup with a maximum speed of 300 km/h. Our trim walk follows an easy-to-understand strategy. The entry trim level, called Pure, is already very well equipped with 17-inch wheels, dual-zone aircon, and a host of safety features, which is expected to deliver a 5-star NCAP rating. The luxury line consists of Prestige and Portfolio trim, and finally, for the more enthusiastic driver, we have the sports trims highlighted here. In addition to these trims, we also have packs targeted towards the business driver. The business pack and the premium business pack we know are key important elements in driver choice within inside the European fleet market. So, to touch upon the superior handling, this is achieved with the following components. The double wishbone front suspension has the same configuration as our acclaimed F-Type sports car. It contributes to precise and responsive steering. The integral link rear suspension enables us to deliver the balance of high quality ride and great handling. The adaptive dynamics allow a firmer response in spirited driving or in dynamic mode, but enhance ride comfort when cruising. The electric power-assisted steering delivers a steering response and feel approaching that of our acclaimed F-Type. And the aluminium intensive architecture allows for exceptionally light and sports car stiffness, which will also deliver inherently low noise vibration. A key feature of the new XE is our infotainment and connectivity solution. The Jaguar infotainment and connectivity features are numerous. I'll cover the 4 key propositions: InControl Touch, InControl Connect, InControl Protect, and InControl Secure. Firstly, InControl Touch will be standard in the Prestige model, which has dynamic route guidance and low CO2 routing capability. Further, Jaguar voice control and traffic recognition sign are included. The option InControl Connect Pack includes InControl apps that enables you to use third-party smartphone apps that you have on your phone through the vehicle's touchscreen. Next, InControl Wi-Fi hotspot with 3G access for up to 8 devices. The solution also comprises of InControl Remote Premium for remote access to the vehicle climate, lock-in and alarm settings. Within the standard InControl Protect, the Remote Essentials apps allows for remote communication with the vehicle and the SOS emergency call and assistance call support for peace of mind. In the unlikely event of unauthorized access to your car, InControl Secure alerts the driver via smartphone and signals the InControl Secure Operating Center. The center confirms a theft has occurred and then works with the police to recover the vehicle. New for the XE is the all-new 8-inch high-definition screen, allowing clear navigation and engagement of this infotainment system. So let's finish with the most important topic of total cost of ownership. As I have said, the XE is the first vehicle in its segment to achieve the sub-100 gram CO2 emission barrier with the 99 gram CO2 in the 163 PS Eco version. As highlighted, this is due to the lightweight aluminium body shell and the newly developed fuel-efficient Ingenium engines. All Jaguar XEs have service intervals of 24 months and 34,000 kilometres, whatever comes first, which is currently benchmark. This benchmark interval is a fixed interval, meaning the Jaguar XE does not need to be serviced before the stated period or mileage. Most competitors have driving profile-related intervals that highlight the absolute best case. In real life, most of these vehicles require earlier servicing. So to come back to the peace of mind. Although the Jaguar XE already has the lowest servicing cost in its segment, the standard Jaguar Care Package delivers 3 years free servicing with unlimited mileage. This is combined with our standard 3-year factory warranty, which is in the European markets outside of the UK 1 year longer than our premium competitors. I'm also pleased to announce that the all-new Jaguar XF arriving in autumn will also benefit from the free Jaguar Care servicing and warranty proposition. We've worked hard over these last 3 years with data providers and leasing companies across Europe to involve them in the process of launching this car. Throughout, we have made adjustments to maximise the residual value performance for the XE. So, in summary, we are delivering the Jaguar XE today, this week, with distinctive design, superior handling, making it one of the most accessible premium cars brought to you by Jaguar, but delivering the best-in-class TCO in most markets. In addition, we have invested in our infrastructure fleet with global, European and national fleet specialists in markets to support you, our valued customers. We're in the process of moving all our dealers to JLR distribution points with a new corporate image and significant investment in services. We have a specialist fleet program for our dealers called the Fleet Business Centres, which are located in all key European metro areas. We have a dedicated fleet and leasing proposition with the Jaguar Fleet and Business Leasing, a highly competitive full-service lease available at dealer level, specifically targeting the SME market. And finally, for our larger accounts, we have highly trained account managers working with you to support the placement of the all-new Jaguar XE in your fleet. I would welcome contact directly from yourselves to arrange a test drive of this fantastic new car. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Simon. Thank you for this comprehensive presentation. To the participants of this virtual fleet lounge, probably you already learned a lot, But I can imagine that you have some questions, so we will move on to the last part of this virtual fleet lounge, the Q&A session, and you can send your questions by using the Q&A function of your virtual fleet lounge tool. In our team today to answer the questions, we not only have Simon Dransfield, General Manager, Fleet and Business, Europe, but we also have Gregor Jung, who is the Product Manager, and Hartmut Christant, who is TCO Manager. So if you have a question about the new Jaguar XE, please send it using the Q&A function on your screen. I see that there are already a few questions. The first one I think is for Simon. Simon, a question in two little parts. The first one is, will the XE, the all-new XE, become available in all main markets in Europe? And secondly, what exactly is the main target group for this car?
Okay, well, I'll take the second part, and I'll let Gregor explain the first part, which is around availability of the product globally.
Okay.
With regards to target audiences, I think I touched on at the end, we are looking to bring this car into the SME segment where traditionally we have been very strong with Jaguar, so ensuring that we've got the right financial proposition. But also we're very clear that we now can compete within significant key fleets across Europe and the globe, obviously. We've worked extensively with our key leasing partners in every market to ensure that we've got the most competitive lease rates on this vehicle as well. So in tandem, we're trying to cover the full spectrum of the market with this product.
Perfect. And if your colleague then can tell us a little bit more about the availability of the product.
Good morning, this is Gregor. XE will be available in the major European markets this week. So there are cars in showrooms that can be seen and test driven. Other European markets may have a delay of 1 to 2 weeks. The rest of the world will launch the car a little later. The only market that has launched before us was the home market, the UK, where the car is available already.
Okay, thank you very much. We are continuing, let's say, with the geographic scope, but then related to your maintenance and warranty program, you talked about the Jaguar Care program. Is that program also available in all European markets?
Good morning, this is Hartmut here now. Well, yes, it will be available in all European markets except for Turkey, where we actually have a different warranty scheme due to different road conditions. The UK itself provides the same program at a highly subsidized rate, so we will have the program available in all European markets, more or less.
Okay. Another question. Okay, now we are going to the competition. You talked already, Simon, a little bit about the positioning of the car. The question is, who do you consider your main competitor, and how do you position yourself versus this competitor?
Well, to be honest, Stephen, I think Gregor, not wanting to pass the buck, but Gregor has been working with this car for 4 years in terms of positioning it for the market. So I think he's probably best placed to answer that.
Okay.
Thanks, Simon. Simon mentioned the usual 3 suspects already. I think if you look into premium competition in that segment, you have to look at Audi, BMW, and Mercedes. And clearly the 3 Series is the segment leader, and we didn't benchmark any other car than the segment leader. In terms of the attributes of the car, I think we have a very fine balance achieved in between comfort and sportiness, which we feel is unique in that segment at the moment.
Okay. To the attendees, so if you have a question, please use your Q&A function of this virtual fleet lounge tool. We continue with a question about, let's say, the segment your car is positioned in. We heard already that it's quite a competitive segment with quite some established, let's say, car models. What can be the share of sales that will be attributed to fleet, and how will you realize that share?
Okay. I think, as hopefully some of the audience are aware, we've been investing in fleet for quite a number of years, and that has been, building the platform for this car coming to market. Interestingly, the XF sales in terms of fleet performance is in excess of 40% in the more mature European markets, and we're obviously achieving some success in the emerging markets as well, specifically markets such as Poland, Scandinavia, Turkey, Switzerland. So we are having established success already with the XF product, and our expectations is that the XE will contribute between 30 and 50% of total sales performance, dependent upon the market dynamics, because obviously we have different share of fleet available in each market.
Okay. Another question, how will the XE affect the appropriateness of the Jaguar brand when we look at fleet?
I'll take part of this, and I think Gregor is well placed also to take part of this. I think clearly, we're very, we have a good understanding of the positioning of the Jaguar brand inside the European markets, which historically has been premium luxury. What we are expecting and hoping with the XE is that we will have a new alignment of the accessibility of the Jaguar brand and relevance for fleet industry based upon some very strong rational argumentation.
Yes, Simon, absolutely correct. So far, I think Jaguar was more seen as an emotional choice rather than a rational one. But clearly, we ticked all the boxes on the rational factors. And you cannot change the brand without changing the product. So XE will be the new entry level to get into the Jaguar brand, and by offering the car at around about 10,000 euros below XF, which was the entry into the Jaguar brand so far, I think we can reach out to many new customers.
Okay. Another question that we received is related to the astonishing CO2 emissions that you realized with the new XE. So we saw in one of the slides that there is a diesel powertrain with only 99 grams of CO2. And the question is if also for, let's say, the upcoming models, you can do, let's say, a similar effort when it comes to CO2 and sustainability.
Absolutely. The XE is based on our aluminium-intensive premium lightweight architecture. There's more cars to come off that architecture. The next one clearly being the all-new XF that will be presented this autumn to the public. And we expect from XF as well as from the future products class-leading CO2 levels.
Okay. Linked to this, there is a little question about the future, let's say. Do you have in mind, let's say, also the development of possible alternative powertrains? Is that something that is on the radar at Jaguar Land Rover?
Of course it is. We are looking into all possibilities to also reduce our fleet CO2 emissions, although we will have new cars of the same platform as XE. We still offer very powerful sports cars. We still offer large saloons, and also we need to take into account that Land Rover is part of our company. So we will look into alternative powertrain, but I cannot state as of now when we will be selling some of those powertrains.
Okay, I understand. A final question. If I am an international fleet manager and I'm still hesitating, let's say, if I want to include the all-new XE in my car policy list, what for you is the let's say, USP to convince new customers?
Well, I think it depends upon the motivation of the international fleet managers sat with us. And many of them are cost-driven. There's no doubt about that. So a cost-driven mindset looks at the fuel efficiency, looks at the residual value performance, looks at the servicing elements that we've outlined, and the position of the XE is class-leading there. The second element that I think has to be considered is about the engagement of employees and the recognition that employees are wanting to have inside their business. You know, there is a competitive employment market out there, and the proposition of a Jaguar as part of their company fleet portfolio will make companies considerably more attractive in our eyes than one that runs without the Jaguar. So from a cost perspective, the rational perspective, and from the emotional perspective, I think we have a compelling proposition here for the international manager. And also, we have an international team based out of the UK that is there to coordinate our international business proposition.
Okay, thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of this virtual fleet launch of the all-new Jaguar XE. We all hope that you liked it. In the name of Fleet Europe, I first want to thank Jaguar Land Rover, and in particular Simon Dransfield and his team and his colleagues for their support and their expertise. I believe that we really discovered this all-new asset to your fleet. A recording will be available on our website after the session. And finally, we value your feedback, so please take time to complete the little survey that we will send and share with us your thoughts, so that we have new ideas for upcoming initiatives when we present a new car model. We are looking forward to the next time. To all of you online, have a great day and enjoy your company car. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.